Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Moses Atamani. Welcome to Africa Street Journal. The previous discussion we had concerns political parties, and we talk about structures that political parties need to succeed. We talk about one personnel structure, and we also discuss the issue of channels of communication or communication structure. This discussion is going to be, as I stated in the other discussion, that I'll come again and talk about. This discussion is going to be about logistics. Logistics for effective campaign. First of all, if the structures that are needed by political parties are put in place, the personnel are there, the communication channels are effective, top to bottom or bottom up, there is a need for what we call logistical support for the system to work. When we talk about logistics in this context, parties need money to finance their activities. And without effective financial support for a party, or without the right logistics, parties may try, but may become deficient because they will be having logistical challenges because there is no source of finance, or sources of finance might be there but might not be strong enough to push the party forward. Now, as I said in the other video, when the structures are put in place, parties need to know how to raise support, that is, to raise financial support, and also know the logistics that they need, especially in a campaign season like that of Nigeria, which is 2023 election. Now, so if I'm talking about logistics support for campaign, I want to break it down into two. First of all, financing political parties. And second one, logistics that are needed for political campaign. In other words, as I stated, effective political campaign. Now, the question somebody will ask is, how does parties raise money? Of truth, no party should be funded by a single person or an individual or a group of people who have the dower or have money, and it becomes like they alone invests in the party. If it happens like that, what will happen is that a few people will hijack the party and they will take decision for the party. Because if they take charge of the party and it's like they are the financiers of the party, what will happen is that a time will come and they can post off to say they are the ones who are supporting the party, and they can dictate whatever is happening in the party. They can raise leaders or candidates and force them on the party because they are the major supporters of the party. Therefore, for an effective party functioning, for a party to function effectively in the first place, there must be ways of raising funds. First of all, I want you to understand that in every political environment, in other words, in every country, the country need to put in place regulations to regulate how parties raise funds and be able to assess or audit the accounts of the parties. If not, what will happen is that a time will come, parties will be getting funds from sources that cannot be accounted for, and before you realize, there can be people who are doing so many illegal businesses who will be supporting the party. And if illegal businesses support a party, it will become a problem for the country. Why? Because when that party comes to power and that one individual or a few people sponsor the party to come to power, they will make sure they take their money back. Not only that, people who are doing dubious businesses which are illegal may get to control the power that may be, that is, those who are in power. And those in power cannot do much about them because they know where the monies they invested in the elections come from. That is why it is very important that every country in Africa must have electoral laws which control how parties are financed. If not, even before you realize or before we realize, there will be monies coming from outside which will sponsor these parties when they come to power. Then external forces or illegal forces will control our countries. I must say that it is true that in some of our countries in Africa, there are external forces which are controlling our economies because some of these parties are sponsored, and because of that, when the party comes to power, our countries are controlled by these external forces. Thus, in financing a political party, there must be political parties in a country, there must be laws. If there are no laws, we will be selling out our countries to people who are doing illegal business. And I know you know all the illegalities that I'm talking about. Cocaine dealers can take over a party and control it. External forces, external businesses can invest in a party, and when the party comes to power, they will control every area of the country. Now, so let's come back to how political parties need to be financed. There should be one, a rule, as I said. Secondly, the parties themselves must have ways of raising money. It can be monthly dues from the members of the party. Monthly dues. It means that those who are registered members of the party will pay monthly dues. The parties can also have fundraising, fundraising for to raise money to support the party. The parties can also sell out paraphernalia. Yes, and that when they sell out these, for example, t-shirts, caps, what have you, the branded materials of the party, they can sell it out and raise money from that source. Another one is that parties can appeal to individual members who have money to raise money so that they can appeal to them to support the party in order that they can fund their activities. But as I said earlier, this fundraising, if the state or the country have regulations, there should be a seal, a maximum ceiling that an individual can contribute in order that the party will not be hijacked by an individual. That is what I said earlier. Therefore, it is very important that if these parties, all parties have structures, in the structure, you will know that those who are just members, those who hold positions as office holders, those who have certain levels of knowledge and whatever, in any way that they can make sure that when they can raise money to support the political party. Now, it's when I make statements or when I do discussions, I can give you examples of what happens in our countries in Africa. But as I'm focusing on Nigeria now, let me just say it hypothetically, but there are evidence to support it. If an individual can beat his chest and say that I am the one who sponsored this party, I am the one who appointed and who helped this man to come to power, I use my resources to sponsor this person. Had it not been me, this person will not come to power. Then it means that one, the person uses his own resources to support that person because so he can boast off and say that it is me who supported the party and sustained the party. That is why it is my turn now to come to power. Another one is a party in opposition. An individual now is saying that when the party was in opposition, I have to sustain the party until now. If such a thing happens, there is a problem for such a party because that individual will continue to dictate to the party. And if the individual doesn't have his or her way, it is possible that that individual can bring fragmentation, division, faction into the political party. Take note, it is true that every party, there are factions in the party because there are interest groups also in every political party. However, if it gets to the level that is like everything that happens in the party, financing of the party comes from only one person, that party has problem. And that party will be controlled by only an individual, which will not augur well, which will not help the country at large. So you will see from this discussion that there are many, many ways a party can raise funds from individuals, monthly dues, raising funds through maybe a party, a fundraising party, fundraising roadshow, fundraising appeal to big wigs in the party, and also selling out materials of the party which are branded in the party's color, t-shirts, caps, and what have you. All these things can be used to raise funds to support the party. Another way, the other way that I want to talk about now is logistics. Logistics. I am trying to discuss these issues for us to know that for a party to come to power, it needs so much resources. And these resources go into several things that are needed for the effective campaign. Let me sip a little water. Yeah. Logistics. In my discussion, I spoke about paraphernalias, and these are materials that are designed in the name of the party, and the party uses that to promote its activities. Each and every material or paraphernalia that is you see by a party or used by a party, there are resources pushed into them to be able to produce those materials. Let me identify, first of all, the materials, things that a political party need in order to have effective campaign. I mentioned t-shirt. Parties have t-shirt, and on the t-shirt they have their logos. Some parties have caps. They have flags, and all these flags are branded in the party with the party logo. You have billboards, and all these billboards are sponsored or money is invested into it. Apart from that, movement, the cars, the motorbikes, the trucks, everything that moves people from one place to another, all of them are purchased or are donated by somebody. So all these materials are needed in order to have visibility, in order that your party will have visibility. So every material that is needed is part of the logistics I'm talking about. This logistics, there must be a planning, and the planning all depends on the money that or the finance of the party. This logistics needs to be, for an effective campaign, the party must know how to distribute these logistics in order that every structure from top, the national, the state level or the regional level, local government level, and the ward level or polling station level, all of them need this logistics. So in order to get this logistics to all the corners or every ward, every local government, every district or local government, yeah, every state, every the national level, these logistics need to be coordinated. That is why I said in my previous video that the structure of the party, after the structures are put in place, sometimes they need to form committees. And these committees work on different things that are needed in order to have an effective election. Therefore, the logistics needs to be planned in order that fund can be raised towards raising or putting in place those logistics. If there is no plan, what will happen is that before you realize, people will begin to back up because they are not seeing the party is no longer visible. I just want to discuss these things for everybody to know that much goes into election. And if the structures are working well and the logistics are raised and shared in all the structures of the political party, the political party may have success, especially when they have credible leaders, credible candidates, and candidates that can show record for whatever he or she has done before or what he or she want to do. It will help the party. So what I'm trying to discuss today is first financing a political party and raising logistics. I emphasize from the beginning that every state, every nation, or every country needs to have electoral laws. And if the electoral laws are working, it will minimize individuals or external forces hijacking a political party. Before I conclude, you will see all around Africa that political parties are not accountable, and many of them are not accountable, but the electoral bodies that are established to manage or regulate political parties are not working effectively. For all these things I'm talking about to work, then there must be pressure groups who must make sure that the electoral bodies in charge of elections regulate party activities and regulate the financing or audit the accounts of political parties. And in doing this, it will minimize the challenges that we are facing in some of our African countries today. Now, so these are some of the things I want us to look at. Another challenge that I have realized, which I want to raise with us, is how political parties are monetized. In the first place, I said it already, my examples for now will be from Nigeria. And then another truth is that the Nigerian election of 2023 will be different. It will be different from 2015. It will be different from 2019 because now there is much agitation and political awareness. From what I knew from especially 2015, there were agitation, people supported the current government. However, not much of the youth were involved. But in the 2023 election, the youth are much involved. And the issues being raised now are different. So I'm talking about monetization of parties. I said, yes, parties need money. They need financing. They need logistics. However, monetization of party is becoming a headache in Africa. In this monetization, parties, for example, when they are electing their executives, people have to bribe many people, give them money. They hide behind, oh, we have to give them transportation, we have to give them accommodation and all those things. Then the individual candidates who are contesting now go to give money to these people. It's not supposed to be like that. Apart from that, bribing of people to vote or do so many things. We saw those things in 2015. We saw those things in Nigeria in 2019. And you could remember how rice, and beans, and other things are shared to people. Can that help a political system that when it comes to election time, parties have to be dishing out materials, rice, and what have you? That is inducement. In the terms of election, it is inducement, inducing people to vote for the party or the candidate. If the individuals know their responsibilities in the political system, you will not even be going out to look for money or ask political parties to give you money. If you do that, it's like you don't even know your responsibility. So it's very important for us to know that in funding political parties, regulations must be there. And if you go taking money from a political party to vote for them, know that you are selling your future to them. For example, in Nigeria, if you sell your future to a political party, you will bear it for 4 years, possibly 8 years, before you can relieve yourself. That is why I think that if you believe in a political party, if you think a candidate is that person that you support and you believe in him, you, the one who believes in the candidate, should not be expecting the candidate to give you money or to support you, to give you money or give you materials. You, the individual, rather need to support the candidate or the political party that you support. This is very important. This is very important. Because if we know our rights as individuals, as citizens of a country, as as electorates, we must also know our responsibilities. In a political system, rights are there, responsibilities must also follow. So I want you to think about what I'm trying to raise. Very important. The issue of funding of political parties. It is not helping any African country. It is making the political system very expensive. There are things I did not talk about, especially when party and somebody is being nomination. I don't even believe that nomination should people need to pay, but to go to that exorbitant prices for nomination form is not helping any country in Africa. Let us all look at this. Let us all think about this. And in all things, we are wishing every candidate in Nigeria in this election. We wish you well. We will talk about the individuals. We are going to also talk about the profiles of these individual candidates. The presidential candidates, we may look at 3 or 4. Then we will also pick some governorship candidates, senatorial, reps, and House of Assembly. We will look at all of them. Our issues, our discussion must be issue based. And when there are red lights or we need to raise red flags about something, we will look at it relating to the constitution of Nigeria or any other country we are looking at. Mind you, we have the Nigerian constitution and we are reviewing it before having all these discussions. We hope you continue to follow us. This is Africa Street Journal, and we hope that we will have this continue with this discussion and it will help, or in other words, it will contribute to effective discussion engagement of each other or of the issues, the addressing of the issues. And we hope that at the end, Nigeria will come out of this election successfully and peacefully. Thank you all. Remember, this is Africa Street Journal. We are shaping the conversation for Africa's development. Thank you.